much delayed. Oh, it's not much delayed.
There you go. I can hear it. The other one was
Oh yeah, I didn't know. Is Nalco working the Mariners today?
Big change. Even with trying to get her passport renewed all day.
Audio is that through like Eisenhart Video? That now is like your company.
No, she just. I'm not sure exactly. She just. I mean, she could claim it if she wanted to. We can claim it.
Well, because Meg was wondering if
If
you
she's
guys
not
are.
making any money, she's basically just getting gas money.
Oh, okay. '60s.
Yeah,
Somewhere here you're going to see property of Weaver State College.
oh, really?
Right there. Okay, you can't see.
Oh, nice.
You see, right? Because it was where
Yoink.
I love this drum, and it kept getting beat up, and I'm like, what happened? I fixed that drum, and then it's in the fucking percussion closet. Oh, you know, the head's broken, or somebody took the head off, and
Right, yeah.
kept doing that. And then they got some new snares, and I go, God, I really like that old Ludwig. And the professor there, who was kind of new at the time, he goes, you know, I don't think they miss that. And that's all he said, and that's something I'm like, I like it. I was going to see which one sounds better in this room. Look what I brought. The Superphonic has a head that I can't take off on it yet. Acrolite.
Wow, yeah, those are cool too.
Oh shoot! Yeah, I gotta. Wonder. I think the cats attacked it.
The cat.
They did.
Did you like that thing I sent?
That was hilarious. I told Meg about it. It's pretty much
all
the
the
truth.
facts, you know, and then how smart the dogs are, and
They
how
count,
they can do.
and words, right? And then
And your cat doesn't give a
I
fuck.
think I'm fucking sick of your shit.
Sick of your
Age,
shit.
age 42. That's about when we're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm sick of your shit.
So funny.
I'll probably have to get a wire cutter to clip that off. I got some new snares. I got some extra.
jump up to 20 cases
Oh.
in like a week and a half. It's pretty startling.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Cause we came in on like I think it was like a Friday afternoon or something like that. And they're like, just to let you know, there's 2 cases in the whole place.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, but they're in their rooms. They're contained. I'm like, okay, yeah, no problem. And then we get this thing. Oh, there's 20.
It's 20. Wow.
Right.
Oh, I mean, and I know they're older, and it can be
Yeah.
real
but-
serious with them. So, I mean, even I don't want to get it again if I don't have to.
Yeah, I prefer not.
Have
to.
you had it yet?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that. Hey, Larry.
Larry, Jimmy. So I just noticed this doesn't have a bottom.
I know.
down.
I don't know what happened to it.
Well, I inherited a road kit. I was keeping
Did
it
you?
for my friend, and then he needed money, so I bought it off him. And it was from back in the old days when when the rock guys would take.
Yeah, we used to. looking to start with?
Let's start with No Greater Love.
Okay.
E flat.
B flat, not
B
too
flat.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too fast. Start with that and then I'll do some
You want me to shut the
introductions.
door?
Sure.
Yes.
Well, do you want me to shut the Dutch door too?
Sure, if, leave the Dutch door open and,
Okay.
I
Close
don't
this
know,
one.
close that one. And then I hear someone's got, is that on my phone or your phone, Larry, that?
Mine's all up.
Hey, we're live, right?
Hey.
All right. How do I stop this?
Your phone just kicked in?
We are live. I don't even know where we're live though. All right, there it is. The pop-up concert. I'll say a few words after our first song then.
Okay, then.
Well, it's two people. the room for this concert. My name's Ev Stern, and this is the great Eric Verlinde on the piano. From Snohomish, Washington. And from Ogden, Utah, Larry Machlis. Boom! Haha, you tricked me. I just wanted to say hello to everyone out there in the internet sphere, whatever you call it. I've got some friends that are going through some different stuff and they couldn't be here today. Sherry, Jerome, love to you, and also to Monica, who's got a cold, and the family there. And to everyone at the Kirkland Life Care Center, where we would have been today, and we love playing for you, but usually there's like 40, 50 people in wheelchairs. They wheel them into the cafeteria, and we play there. Same trio, we're gonna do the same stuff we do for them, so pretend you're old and in a nursing home. No. And we try to bring them alive and share this light with them. And I was playing there about 5 years ago, and I got a call from the activities director, Linda. She called me up and said, "It's here." And I said, "What?" She said, "It's here." I said, "What?" And it was like COVID hit, and it was like March 1st of 2020. And I used to go around and lug this thing from room to room and play for the people that could not wheel out, the people who were like bound to their beds in their rooms. And I would carry my bass around and play for them and try to get them to wiggle their toes and do that. And six of the 10 rooms that I played in, 6 of the people in those 10 rooms ended up not making it, you know? So that was amazing, like, wow. And here we are 5 years later, and I got a call from Linda last week. Gigs canceled, there's an outbreak of COVID. That's all. We had a lot of gigs canceled. So thank you for giving us this opportunity to play, because we love to play together and to share this music with you and everybody else. So I think that's enough said. Oh wait, one more thing. No, 2 more things. If you want to help support this kind of thing, there's a tip jar here, and my man Carter, who made this possible, he's doing all our tech work today, and he pulled it off. You can do it later. You can you can do it now. You can shower us with money, all right? And then also for the folks who get to see it out on the internet, I put a couple of links like Venmo and Cash App or something like that. But we would really encourage you to make your contributions to this live music here and at the nursing home, and I hope you enjoy it wherever we get to play.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You got anything?
What did you say?
Yeah, all right. Let's play Indiana.
Okay.
First course a little slow.
Okay.
A little faster. No, a little bit faster.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems to me.
Yeah. Cool.
Really? It's a little acceleron though for that.
Oh yeah, we'll just make a different tempo. Yeah.
Different tempo.
Yeah, no,
And
we're
a time
a different tempo.
signature.
All right, welcome. Yeah, we can switch up the time signature, yeah.
Okay, where do we start with that? faster.
I know, well, it was just.
I tried.
We did.
I tried once, but I'm feeling resistance here.
Right.
Like,
If you want to get a seat, or you can stand there if you want, whatever you like. Somebody needs to stand up and make a seat available, right? But, how about Solar?
Sure.
Yeah.
Solar.
Okay.
Okay, okay. We have jazz tune.
Wow.
Yeah. Blowing tune.
I don't know what to do.
You want to set it up?
What do you want to hear? We want it?
I like the surprise.
What am I doing here? Is this
Taking
supposed to be
three whole choruses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to hold the form there.
Yeah. Can we play that Ellington tune, Prelude to a Kiss?
Sure.
Yeah. You want to play Prelude to a Prelude? Yeah, that's it right there. must play something in 3.
Yeah.
Ah, so,
Who's that?
sure.
Yeah.
does it?
Okay, there you go. Speaking of your right foot, what about your that other drum?
You know, I was thinking that same thing.
Yeah, where is it?
It's right here.
We are connected.
Point. Sorry about that. That's a good thing. No, it's a good thing.
It's my first time, Larry.
That's all right. It's my first one. They didn't do any inside jokes for me. Am I in the shop here?
Yeah, there's a couple other chairs if anyone needs one. And Larry wants to make sure he's in the shop. In the kitchen, there's other chairs, and I can bring them
Bring a
in.
chair for it, so she.
You know, like,
You get a chair.
you know.
You bring a chair for.
Can someone bring a chair in? Like,
Where's your
yeah,
manners?
that's, I know, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's kind of hinting at that before. You know, like,
Do you want me
I
to
know the
move
cameras are
this?
set up there. Hi,
Oh
Mom.
man, I don't want to mess with cameras.
There we go, thank you. Or on that purple thing there. That's what I was thinking, you know.
That's nice.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
We're playing another Ellington tune. Juan Tizol, trombone player, wrote this one. And it's known for being like this exotic tune, like, because it's got this exotic sound. But I imagine 110 years ago when they formed their band, they had trains and cars, and they were probably driving across America, and they thought, here's this caravan of musicians. They weren't in like Egypt or anything.
Well, probably.
Yeah, but the imagination,
In their minds.
in their minds it could have been in Egypt. They're probably in Alabama.
Okay.
Okay. Keep going, Larry.
So that was the surto, Greek rhythm, or malfouf, the Arabic. Kind of a, you know, both of those rhythms, surto or malfouf. Or bayon, really.
Yeah.
Same rhythm.
Yeah.
Orlet, Bon New Orleans. The same damn thing.
Same thing. All right.
So cool to play with that.
It
You
sounds
like, I
like
can play
that.
anything else on it? Yeah, it is fun to play with it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially like in an acoustic setting like this. It's really.
It's got a nice tone.
I should just start doing this in congas. How about this?
This is that thing.
Just to say, this is Ev's drum, but
It is my drum.
I have one like it, but I like this one. Is pretty nice. It's a little. I have to get used to it. My edge is a little different.
Did you say you wanted to play another one on that?
I don't know. You liked it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One under?
Yeah.
What do
Let's
you
do
think?
another one.
What do y'all think? What is
Yeah, more.
Yeah.
It's been years on. No.
Got the Arabic down.
What would you do with take 5? Is that a good option?
We could try it.
You want to try take 5?
I don't know. You think so? What do you?
Try it.
Let's try it.
We're gonna swing it, though, right?
No,
We're gonna swing it.
no.
But we don't have to. I
No.
mean,
All right. This is something we all of us have never tried before.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Damn.
Given that
okay, 10 wouldn't work. Probably. There's a tutuna, this rhythm at 10, but I'll do it 5. But when I solo, I'll get lost. Okay. You want to start?
Oh my God, are your fingers bleeding?
No,
Oh, okay.
It's just warming up.
Well, just warming up.
It's kind of cold in here.
Oh, jeez.
And I don't want to stop playing this, but I will.
Well, we only have time for like one or two more, so it's your choice. Then.
Well, whatever, we depends on what we do.
Well, let's see. Let me throw it out there. Are there any requests out there?
Play something you know.
Play something you know. Yeah.
Something else.
Red
What's
Clay.
that?
No, we're not playing Red Clay. That's a great idea, but I'd mess it up.
Or Red Clay, is that what you
Yeah,
said?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool tune.
That would be too muddy for me. Yeah. Any other
That would work with
requests?
us, actually.
Yeah.
You wanna do,
The vocal?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to do this just,
Well, you can give me some brushes at some
okay.
point.
Some brushes.
This next song was written for musical in the 1930s, and it featured Louis Armstrong playing the role of Puck in a Midsummer Night's Dream with an all-black cast, and it lasted 1 week and it failed. They couldn't get enough people to come to the show, so they just canceled it. But this song survives. So, so I don't know if anyone can. There's dogs barking over there, but I'm gonna try to sing it anyways.
What's this doggy daycare on there?
Yeah, there's doggy daycare. In case anyone wants to dump your dog off here, I am now an official Rover.com proponent or
I
yeah.
don't know.
So Rover.com, it's a good thing. And buy your shares now, and drop your dogs off here. And they usually, they have to put up with the jazz. It says that it's a musical home for pets and people. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But you put pets first.
always, yeah.
All right. Darn that dream, my dream each night. You say you love me and you hold me tight. But when I wake, you are out of sight. Darn those lips, darn those eyes that take me high above the moonlit sky. Then I tumble out of paradise. Darn that darn that one track mind of mine that can't understand that you don't care just to change the mood I'm in. I'm welcome in an old nightmare dawn that dream, blessed too. Without that dream I never would have you, but it haunts me and it won't come true. That dream.
So was it a musical or they just put that song in there?
No, well, that was a song in the musical.
It was a musical of
Oh, like
Midsummer.
a black, Midsummer Night's Dream,
Wow.
updated, with all this black cast and black characters.
So they wrote it.
It was rewritten.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Kiss Me Kate is
Oh, yeah.
The Taming of the Shrew or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
or what's that Bernstein one? Romeo and Juliet and
West Side.
West Side Story.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we better wrap this up. People have places to go, things to do, and we could do it the usual, or we could do something different.
The
Yep.
usual.
The usual is like Bye Bye Blackbird,
Right.
but we could play a blues or something.
Let's play a blues.
Yeah,
Gee.
yeah, yeah.
This is written by Oscar Peterson. It's called Kelly's Blues, and that was the name of his second wife.
Thank you all for being here.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
playing.
You're welcome this once again. Eric for Lindy on the piano. Do you have anything to say to anyone out there? No, okay, all right. And then this is
I'm
again,
smart at this.
Larry Malise on the drum set, the skins, the brushes, what do you call that drum? Head drum.
Tumbeleki, darbuka, or
Tumbeleki, darbuka.
darbuka, you can call it tumbeleki,
Tumbeleki.
darbuka.
All right. And thank you. This is my living room. My name's Ev Stern. This is
That was living
the
room.
Bullfield. And we've got a couple other concerts coming up. And thanks to Carter once again, he's making this all possible. And so he pulled it all together. And we thank him very much. And he's going to do a couple more shows this month. Coming up on Saturday night at 7:30, the Matt Chevron Jazz Guild is going to be here, and we hope that you'll come, and also you'll tell your friends about it and check out the live stream. And then on the 19th of April, which is a Saturday, we're going to have a concert around noon, so you got to get up a little early for that one. Harris Lemberg from the Pie Jam is going to be presenting some of his original compositions.
Oh, really?
Yes, oh really? And he writes poetry, and he's got a dirty, twisted mind, just like some other friends of mine. And so, yeah, so I hope you'll come join us. We might have breakfast beforehand and then have a concert around noon on Saturday the 19th.
Is it gonna be email?
I will email you about it, I will let you know, I will text you, and thank you once again. If you want to make contributions out there in the internet sphere, you can see a couple links there. You can email me or text me or hit those links, and there's a tip jar over there, so we can make and help make these things go. Again and again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
We wouldn't be here without the Kirkland Life Care Center in Linda, so,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
you know, even if we got canceled, so, all right.
All right. Yeah. Can we talk politics?
Ha ha!
Turn the cameras off.
Yeah, right.
They're watching, right?